Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're safe and well because that is the most important thing. Now, it is a lovely sunny day here at the moment, but we've had some very, very welcome rain, and it's actually only 6 degrees with us this morning, so autumn is definitely on the way. Right, what have we got for you today? Well, funnily enough, the first thing I want to talk about is a little bit of good news, which is that the British Geological Survey showed that the aquifers at the end of July were in a lot better situation than people had thought, bearing in mind that July was one of the driest on record. So I'm going to put the link just below this video just now. And that's important for several reasons. There is a lot of manipulation going on the weather information that's being released publicly at the moment, in my view. A lot of the way in which the data is being cherry-picked, for example, places where there's high temperature records may be being affected by the heat island effect, or they're near a flight path, or actually out on the tarmac on an an airfield, things like that. The temperature records are being sometimes not exaggerated, but they're deliberately being chosen as the worst case example, and they're not necessarily being placed into context. What's really interesting about the geological record and the geological perspective, which is over a far longer time scale than we have weather records of, for example, or we have rainfall records, we have river level records, but the geological perspective is a much longer time frame. And they're really the people who understand the difference between climate and weather. And I know a lot of people have been worried about things like, are we in drought? And the answer is, we've kind of dipped into it, but with all the lovely rain we're starting to have, we're going to dip back out. And what the BGS aquifer records, which go up to the end of July, show is that even though August was dry as well, now we have the rains, the aquifers will recharge really quickly. So it is good news. It has not been anywhere near as severe a drought as 1976. And I'm not just saying that because I'm old, but you have to be careful with the publicly available information on weather and climate at the moment. But the British Geological Survey, funnily enough, can have some interesting news. Who'd have thunk it? Right, so that's the first bit of news, which is the UK bit. What have we got for the EU? Oh my goodness me, we have a major piece of news, which our good friend Nicola Kay spotted on the World Trade Organization notifications. And she's publicized it widely on LinkedIn and things like that. Came to me for the newsletter, for the self-help group. Yes. What is so major, you may ask? Well, it's the fact that the EU have notified to the World Trade Organization that they're going to bring in the updates to EU CLP for revisions 8, 9 and 10 of GHS. And Nicola's read the small print, and there may be the odd bit about revision 11 as well. I'm not quite sure. I have not had time to read it all through. However, I'm going to put the link to the notification there. There are a lot of changes coming in. For example, there are some changes with, I believe, coming in for corrosives and irritants. There's certainly a complete rejig on explosives, which you'll know about if you've been keeping an eye on GHS anyway. But yes, there are a lot of changes coming in, and they are due to be implemented, or at least brought in, last quarter this year with a 2-year time frame. Now, there's a couple of things going on here. The first thing is that I think that this would have been brought in earlier, but all of the fuss around the CLP label format issues, which was entirely created by the EU after all, it was entirely created by people changing their mind at the last minute and bringing things in that industry hadn't agreed to, but park that on one side. All of that has probably held up this being implemented, but also 2 years for such major change. It is actually going to be quite a tight time, deadline, because you're going to have this phase-in period where you could have things that were classified one thing from one supplier, one thing from another supplier. So we need to be aware that this is coming in. We don't know yet what GB's take on this is, whether we're going to actually bring things in as well. We're waiting to hear about that. But yes, it is a major, major thing coming in, and everybody who is doing business in the EU or Northern Ireland needs to have a look at it, and have a look at it now. It's almost like the EU have dropped it in August when everybody's on holiday on the continent. That's the cynical side of me talking. So that's it for work. What have we got? What have we got for the funny video? Well, we have an absolute belter. I make absolutely no apologies for showing this again. It is the Ministry of Silly Walks. Now, I don't know about you, but when you're little and you see this, and I'm just popping it below this video now, you don't get that it's a massive satire on government overspending, government getting involved in areas they shouldn't be in, government being very nitpicking, all that kind of stuff. But yes, these days it certainly strikes a chord, doesn't it? So that's nearly it for me for today. I just wanted to say thank you very much to everybody for their good wishes for TT Environmental Limited. Hang on, my workwear. Because the business was officially 25 yesterday. Thank you very much to all of our clients, our suppliers, our staff over the years, our colleagues and many friends in other businesses. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We would not have been able to be here without you. And I hope that the business is going to continue for many years to come. Right. That's definitely it from me for today. I will pop the link to the email newsletter website in as well, because it's where the archive is. You can sign up there, and that will give you access to the full information, and you'll also get a copy of the email newsletter, because we can only put a couple of things in this video, can't we? But yes, so definitely that's it for me for today. Whatever you're doing, have a wonderful, wonderful time. And I look forward to chatting to you again next week if we're spared. Take care of yourselves. Bye.